Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go!
Athletes aren't built during the season, they're built here, in the off-season, where real progress happens. At the Den Sports Performance and Agility Center, they don't just train, they develop. For athletes ages 13 to 17, they offer team packages and individual group training with up to 5 weekly sessions of your choice of dryland or strength-focused work. Every program blends strength, agility, balance, mobility, speed, and recovery with a focus on durability that most programs overlook. Because showing up on game day means staying strong all season. Every session is coached by a certified speed and strength specialist and focused on long-term athletic success, not quick fixes. Flexible programming, real results. The Den Sports Performance and Agility Center is where serious athletes level up. Book your spot now at thedenyqr.ca. All right, so by the time this airs, this is in evergreen space. So with podcasting, it can go in a bunch of different directions in terms of what happens after you're done taping. But as we talk now, by the way, nice to talk to you again, Andy.
Hey, buddy. How are you, Ballsy? Happy New Year. I think we're past the New Year part, but I figure maybe when you reach 10,
Yeah.
I think once you reach 10, I know the Larry David has I think it's like 4th or 5th the theory, but I figure once you hit double digits, then you're toast with that. But up until then, you can say it.
I like saying Happy New Year to people. Yeah, about 10, even I could stretch it to 12 because it still feels like it's fresh then, right?
Right.
In your mind, it's still fresh.
It's a little fresh. I'll tell you, we're going to get a lot of new fresh faces on the coaching side in the NFL. This is wild.
This is where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this. Okay. Now I know you don't like the Ravens. Okay.
No.
But let's just talk straight up. Where are you going to find a better coach than John Harbaugh? Come on now.
No, you're absolutely right. I hate the Ravens. However, I will take John Harbaugh. It's my thing. I spent 18 years. You stink, Harbaugh. Blah, and then he comes available. It's like, well. Yeah, I welcome in. Hey, Ohio native. Come on, I'm definitely look. The guy can coach. Bizarre departure, and here's a fun little twist for the viewers here: is that apparently the reason he was let go, it was made sort of on the spot of he didn't want to get rid of his coordinators. The Ravens did. The guy who fired him, Sashi Brown, president of the Ravens, was the GM / top executive for the Browns from 2013 to 2017 did a horrible job. Used to manage nightclubs. Guy's a bum as far as an executive, in my opinion, as far as evaluating personnel. That guy fired John Harbaugh. So I hope maybe Harbaugh's like, I'm going to stick it to you and come over. But under the current structure of how the Browns run with Andrew Berry, I don't know.
So let's move on to Cleveland. Something fell over behind you there, so maybe it's appropriate.
You know what? You know what fell over? It's my my autographed Justin Herbert rookie card.
Hopefully
Triple color.
Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come when we do our predictions here.
I hope. Look, no one's cheering for MVP more than me for Justin Herbert to skyrocket that value. I got that fell. Why did it fall over? I got a Kenyon Drake real quick. I love my cards.
Oh, nice.
A beautiful card, but Kenyon Drake, he's not gonna get you nothing. And I went too heavy on Cedric Tillman of the Browns. But look at these cards; they're artwork.
They are artwork. They're beautiful.
So nice.
They're awesome.
They're so nice. Anyway.
So let's go to the Browns. You follow it closer than I do. Once again, I don't know who you're going to get better to coach that team. Kevin Stefanski they went to the playoffs with 5 quarterbacks and ended up with Joe Flacco, and you fired him. It's kind of like the old Baker Mayfield thing. He got you to the playoffs and got you a playoff win, and you punted his ass out of town. There's a reason why, I'm sorry, buddy, but there's a reason why the Bengals, the Browns, the Raiders, whoever, the Jets, they're always at the top of the draft order. There's there's about 8 unwatchable teams in the NFL.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a case where you booted Baker Mayfield out of town. That was Kevin Stefanski's quarterback in his first year, 2020, made the playoffs, won their only playoff game against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, which was fantastic. And then you had a down year. Baker got hurt left shoulder. Same shoulder, by the way, that I believe caused his demise this year in Tampa Bay. Same thing. And then they're like, oh, we want to get better. Okay. You go for Deshaun Watson. Ballsy, I always say this. Only the Browns could sell their soul to the devil but not get the payout from it first. They couldn't even sell their soul right. They sold their soul for that moral skunk Deshaun Watson. and you didn't get the payoff. Usually in stories, if you sell your soul, you get something good, and then you realize it was a mistake. They just got the bad, and it was a flop since then. Injured. Then, like you said, 5 quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, comeback player of the year, off his couch. What a story. And then after that, it was back to Watson. Stinks. You draft 2 rookies. Dylan Gabriel shouldn't even be in the CFL, never mind the NFL. And now Stefanski's the fall guy. I believe he did. He did not hold players accountable enough. The discipline issues did not get fixed. The special teams was terrible. But I think Andrew Berry also deserved the boot because if you look at his track record, nice draft this year in parts.
Yeah.
Cannot evaluate a quarterback to save his life. Cannot draft an offensive lineman. And cannot draft a wide receiver. Kind of 3 important parts, Ballsy, right? But he keeps his job and gets more power, and he's going to be the guy in charge of hiring the next head coach.
Hey, this would be very Brownish to have Dion coach his kid. Can we see that?
Let's
Can
go.
we see that?
I would sign up for it today, just because it would be a spectacle. My Browns people on the ground in Cleveland, Ballsy, say not happening. Apparently, Dion is quite comfortable in Colorado. No interest in doing that with the Browns. Look, I take it for storyline. It probably wouldn't work, but I take it. Be fun.
Yeah. Who has a more wasted career? Mike Trout with the Angels or Myles Garrett with the Browns?
Boy, man. Well, both are Hall of Famers. Myles Garrett's going to be to the Hall of Fame. Soon going to be collecting his 2nd Defensive Player of the Year, set the all-time single-season sack record. Here's what's so frustrating. You get all that. The Browns this year not only are going to have Defensive Player of the Year in Garrett again and set that record, you also have the Defensive Rookie of the Year, Carson Schlesinger. And you still limped to 5 wins. That shows how important offense is in this league where the Browns completely missed the boat. And yeah, I think it is a wasted career. He's really the only bright spot on this team. You have to hope at some point, you fall ass backwards into some luck and you hit, right?
Yeah.
Look,
Okay.
Green Bay sucked for what? 20-something years before they bumped into Brett Favre.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. And just a comment on the Raiders.
Ooh, Tom Brady in charge.
Yeah, and
There he
there's
goes.
something. There's something though. There's no such thing. I talked to John Ryan, the Super Bowl winning punter from Saskatchewan, the Seahawks. He's on
Nice.
the show regularly. So, there's no such thing as consultants. Like John Huffnagel with the Argos, he's been hired as a senior consultant, or Tom Brady's a consultant, or maybe Matt Ryan now is going to be a consultant. You
Troy
can't be
Aikman with the Dolphins.
Yeah, you can't be a broadcaster and a consultant. You are, like in football, you're all in. Bill Parcells famously said that. There's no consultant. You're either all in or you're not in. So, they got to figure that out with the Raiders. And they'll probably get the Indiana quarterback, and hopefully they don't screw that up.
That's my guy. I friggin' love Fernando Mendoza. I'm a fan of the Draft Day movie starring Kevin Costner, greatest sports film of all time.
Yeah.
I would put my sticky note, Fernando Mendoza, no matter what. That guy's the real deal, Ballsy. He's the real deal. He's a leader of men. You see him talk in interviews. You see he's passionate, God-fearing man. That guy can throw a ball through any type of window, can run. Here's what I like, though. Guy makes a mistake, unfazed, back up. This guy has Josh Allen isms, Drake May isms. That's a guy. But whoever drafts him, Raiders or Jets, you better make your next focus heavy offensive line investment, because we saw year over year how fast that made Drake May look good and Caleb Williams look good in Chicago. You better up that offensive line, because especially the Raiders, absolute train wreck on the O-line.
Yeah, absolute train wreck. Okay, so let's get to the NFL picks, my friend, and we'll go in the NFC first, okay? Eagles and the Niners. I think the gig's up for the Niners. I do. Listen, I'm not. The Eagles are the most dysfunctional, successful team in the last 30 years in North American professional sports. I can't think of a more dysfunctional, head KC, as I like to say, but winning team, successful team. I think they will dominate the Niners, though, in Philadelphia.
I think they'll win. I think it'll be close. At 4.5, I wouldn't make it as part of a parlay, let's say, but as a standalone, I might take the Niners to cover.
Okay.
But I think the Eagles win because they're still disrespected as well. Like, you're the defending champs, you're disrespected. Jalen Hurts does not get the respect of a passer of the football that he does. Any comparison to Lamar Jackson, who I still still can't throw the ball successfully, even though the stats tell you one thing, because when he can't run, what happens? They miss the playoffs. Like I've told everybody for freaking years, that's the strategy. So
True.
I'm proven right.
It's
How
true.
do you like that? And again, Jalen Hurts, I like him. Now, they have up and downs, absolutely, but they got the pieces. They've done it before, and I think they do at home squeak it out against the 49ers. It's going to be a good game. But Ballsy, the 49ers, they just can't stay healthy. They just can't. It's going to hurt them again. You put everybody healthy on that team, I take the 49ers over just about anybody. But you're not.
Rams lost in Carolina in the regular season. Rams have really taken a step back in terms. Like if I had Rams stock, I'm selling Rams stock. Their defense doesn't look that spectacular. Their O-line is just okay. Devontae Adams will help them. What's the line on it now as we look? What is it right
10.5 for the Rams.
So do the Rams cover on the road?
I don't like that cover. I don't like that spread at all. Rams are going to win this game. Now, I'd take him if it was 6.5. I'd take him if it was 7. 10.5 on the road, that's a bit too rich. So I would take the Panthers to cover, Rams to win. I think, the Panthers only got into the playoffs off of a tiebreaker between the Falcons and the Saints. Let's relax. Now, overachieving, absolutely. But you're an 8-9 division winner. So let's chill on people thinking the Panthers are going to go on a run. Nice story. Maybe they build off it next year. Bryce Young is still 5'0", and I think that's going to come back to get them.
Yeah, he's not a friend. When I look at him,
he's done a nice job.
Hey, when I look at him, I'm a short guy, so I'm not cutting him down for his size. But when I look at him, he's not a franchise quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback till your next guy.
You let C.J. Stroud pass in the draft. All you had to do was hand him the card. That's all you had to do. And now C.J. Stroud, he's building his way back up after an epic rookie season, but I would take C.J. Stroud any day of the week over a lot of quarterbacks, including Bryce Young. Credit to Dave Canales, the head coach, and what they've done there. On a much better job than I thought they'd be able to do. So kudos, but there is certainly a ceiling. Not that Bryce Young could reach it anyway, but a ceiling that his talent hits.
Hey, what does Vegas know that we don't? Like, I'm picking the Packers to beat the Bears. I am. Matt LaFleur's coaching for a contract extension. I always take the better quarterback, and even though Caleb's had a great year, I like Caleb Williams. I like Jordan Love better, even though he's got some injuries on his side. But what does Vegas see that we don't see? Because last I saw, they had the Packers as the favorites.
1.5 point favorites. This is a pick 'em. This is a straight up pick 'em. This one, I've been going back and forth in this one for a couple days, Ballsy. It's like, okay, I could totally see Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. What a meteoric rise. Your first time in the playoffs, collapse. You see it all the time. However, I was in Cleveland week 3 when the Browns beat the Packers. That team, and then they lost to another bum team. I forget, this year. They can go into stretches where you're like, what is this? And you talk about injuries. This is a team, wide receivers in and out. You lose your best tight end. They're a good team. They're not as great as a lot of people thought they were going to be this year. I would not be surprised if the Bears did win that game. Again, the more I feel like my gut is just telling me Packers straight up winner. If I'm betting this one, you're not going to get great, because it's so close, you're not going to get great odds either way. I would say maybe you go player prop there. Look at the rushing yards, look at the passing, that type of thing. The overall outcome, I'm a little skittish on. I'll go with you, though. I'll say, and it's a division rival. Like, Ballsy, you can't get any more old school NFL than this. It's like from the 1920s battle.
Yeah. The NFL's better when both these teams are good at the same time. It doesn't happen a lot, so the NFL is in a better spot when that happens. So give me a quick prop bet there. Who do you like in that for a prop bet there?
Oh boy, I have to look who the over under is for. I would take both quarterbacks. I bet you it's probably set at 1.5. The passing those are going to fluctuate. I would take both over 1.5 passing touchdowns. You might be able to get a rolling spread depending on the sportsbook you use. But Williams and Love over 1.5 touchdowns. Give me DeAndre Swift anytime touchdown. I think that's a pretty safe bet there too.
Okay.
And those would be the 3 I'd kind of stick with right now.
Okay, so let's go to the AFC, and let's start with the Jags and the Bills. I'll give you some foreshadowing from me. I've got a Seattle Seahawks, Jacksonville Jags Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl.
Ratings poison.
Yeah, and it would be. But the NFL's so big, it doesn't matter. People.
No, you're right. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think the coach of the year is either Mike McDonald with Seattle or this Liam Cohen guy he had a goofy introductory press conference.
Yes.
Little bit of weird in the locker room there.
Super weird.
But he's got it going with Trevor Lawrence. They're
working.
All their shittiness over the years is kind of coming to fruition. Not like your team can't seem to get it right. The Raiders shit, but this was a shitty team forever.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to reap what they kind of sow, if you want to put it that way. I got Jacksonville beating Buffalo. Buffalo has Josh Allen and nothing else.
Well, so here's what I've been actively rooting against the Jags all year. So naturally they've got 13 wins because the Browns, remember, last draft, got their first round pick coming up. So I thought, I'll have 2 top 10 picks. Oops. Going to be like 28. Thanks for nothing, Jacksonville. This is a team. And Liam Cohen, you're right. I thought as soon as that guy's press conference, I'm like, that guy's one and done. He's unlocked Trevor Lawrence. Whatever he's doing is working, and it's looking real good. You're right. Bills are Josh Allen. That's it. And let's give James Cook some credit. That guy's actually balled out. He's done well.
Yeah,
but this window for the Bills to get to the Super Bowl is open, and after this year, it slams shut. You don't have the Chiefs, who you couldn't beat. You don't have the Bengals, who have also beat you in the postseason. You got to do it. I don't know how you do. You got to figure this out. Now, Jacksonville, I still think can be figured out. It's not like it's a hostile environment to play in Jacksonville. I'm going to say the Bills are 1.5-point favorites. I'm going to take the Bills outright winners in this one and think that Josh Allen and company can will their way to at least one playoff victory.
Okay. Chargers, all I hear is your MVP guy there, that card. Justin,
come on.
Yeah, come on, baby. Justin Herbert can't get it done in the playoffs. Justin Herbert can't get it done in the playoffs. It wasn't his fault his team collapsed 27-0 against Jacksonville. Yes, he didn't look good last year against Houston, but their O-line was terrible, which it is again.
And hurt.
That's why they're terrible. Justin Herbert is the MVP of this league, in my opinion, because the Chargers aren't here without Justin Herbert. This is a great matchup for San Diego. I still say San Diego. It's a great matchup for the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles because the Patriots don't get to the quarterback. So they don't get to the quarterback. They're still a few players away. They haven't played anybody this year. Their strength of schedule, I think, was 32nd. Denver's was 31st. The Chargers have beaten some great teams, and they, Harbaugh and Herbert want to win that playoff game, and they've got a great defense. I think the San Diego Chargers of Los Angeles have top 3 defense in the NFL right now. I really do. Like you got Seattle, you got Texans, and San Diego's got a good defense.
Well, I'll tell you, what a coaching battle. You got Vrabel versus Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Oh. And it just shows how quick Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Mike Vrabel. 1 year and an improved offensive line can turn your luck around. That's why I'm hoping the Browns can hit on their guy. I don't think they will, but Patriots, you're right. Patriots, again, we have a lot of first-timers here. Right?
Yes,
Patriots, 14 wins. First time. Chargers have... I feel the Chargers, if you can overcome those injuries, it almost seems like it's a bit too much, but I think we are going to see some surprises and some upsets. So I'm going to go with you. Patriots are 3.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Chargers to cover that one. 46.5. I think we see over that on total points as well. I hope it's a fun one and they let it kind of air out a little bit. Chargers, they're going to have to grind, man. They're going to have to grind it out. But this is a year where I think the Patriots are built for a strong future. I think the Broncos as well. And the Broncos were there last year with Bo Nix, but another level now. This is a case where, I think maybe a year too early for the Patriots. But I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Drake May's been great. It's his first.
He's done. I love Drake May.
The other thing with Drake May, whether you agree with my ranking or not, I can tell you this for free: he hasn't played a defense like the Chargers. He hasn't faced the Chargers like defense this year.
He played the Browns, and Myles Garrett sacked them 5 times.
That's true.
But they still won.
Yes. So okay, that's good. That's a good point. He's played the Browns have a good defense. So and they still won, but that's because your offense was shitty.
Yes.
The Chargers have the Chargers, in my opinion, have the MVP in their offense, Superman. And with a good defense, I think that's enough to beat the Patriots.
I think it could be the case. Boy, that's going to be a fun one. That's Sunday night.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
You won't like the last one, I'm going to say. I'm going to say the Steelers will win against the Texans. Only because, just hear me out, only because I'm not sold. Like CJ Stroud, I know you love him. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback, but their offense is just okay. Like, I know defense wins championships. Defense wins championships, but your offense has to do something, and I don't think they do enough. I think Pittsburgh's going to win one playoff game, and that'll be it.
So DK Metcalf back from suspension.
Yes,
does that juice him up a little bit?
Yeah.
I think this is my best bet for this game is the under 39.5. I think this is just going to be a dirty 13,
ugly
10.
Yeah, gross.
Just like blech, type of game. But you're right. The Texans have been underwhelming on offense all year. And they've been leaning on the defense. Now, we've seen tough defenses can also, the Browns beat the Steelers when they were trying not to get sacked by Myles Garrett.
That's right.
And so it's a case where I think it's going to be down and dirty. This is going to be won by the defense. And if it's won on the ground, you could be right, because that combo of Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell has been real good. But I still think the Texans pull it out in Pittsburgh. Steelers are fugazi. Aaron Rodgers is old. Mike Tomlin, rumors he might want out of town too. I don't know. This guy's the Steelers have horseshoes up you know where, and they just back-ass their way into the playoffs or above 500 every year. Fugazi, no dice. Give me the Texans outright.
I love your Browns goggles. Hey, so I made I laid my nuts on the table here. I told you it's going to be the Jags and the Seahawks. Who do you got in the Super Bowl before we start the playoffs? Look into your crystal
I got
ball.
the Eagles and the NFC.
And the AFC?
Oh. AFC, you know what? I'm going to stick with my original pick. My confidence is less, and it could be shot right out of the gate. Give me the Buffalo Bills.
And the
Eagles to get there. Eagles have done it before. Like I said, Bills know this is their window. I think Josh Allen wills them to the Super Bowl. It's a dicey pick, but I think there is a way and a path for Buffalo to do that. It's gonna be a fun weekend, man.
Maybe it's because Mahomes and Kelsey, Travis Swift, they're not in the playoffs this year for the first time in a long time. Thank God. I was getting fatigued too, just like I had.
Did you know this, Ballsy? First time since 2017 where Mahomes, Jackson, or Burrow are not in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
First time.
crazy. That's crazy. So maybe it was because of that. My last point. I can't remember the last time where there's 14 teams in the playoffs. You could make a legitimate case for 10 of them to win. And then you could make those same 10, you could make a legitimate case why they're not going to win. Like, that's how wide open this is.
Totally agree. Like, and a lot of it comes down to the head-to-head matchups. Like Packers, Bears, you can make an argument where they could finagle their way too, but one of them is going to be gone.
Yeah.
Panthers get out of here. Rams, Matthews, you said the MVP. Matthew Stafford was an MVP candidate. Bills, Jags, we just talked about them. Niners, Eagles. Both have the talent. Chargers, Patriots go on a magic run for the Pats. Texans, Steelers are the only two where it's like, nah.
Yeah, that's kind of well, and I kind of think the Chargers won't go on a magic run just because they're O-line. If they had Alt, and Slater, I think they'd be the favorites to win the whole thing. I think they'd be right there. So yeah, it's just weird how, and it's funny, you make your big bold prediction, Eagles and the Bills, and if we were doing this in July, everybody'd be like, oh, big deal. But it's a bold prediction now. That's how
it's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
That's why the NFL's so great, right? And you have all these records, and what happens after next week when you mix in the Broncos?
Yeah.
Right? And the Seahawks. And you've got Sam Darnold? Like, we saw him go pumpkin in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
When does it happen? Or does it?
Goes to show you, though, we all like to, and we have fun with this. We look at schedules back in July and August. We're like, okay, and they'll be 10-4. And they'll be...
Yep.
The Bears, everybody was saying, well, I don't think 3 games into the year, everybody's like, I don't see it with Caleb Williams. I think he's done. They wasted a pick. Now it's like, Caleb Williams, he's the greatest quarterback the Bears have ever had. And they could be in the we could literally see we could see a Chargers-Bears Super Bowl. We could see a Bills-Bears Super Bowl, right?
Could. And like for, it comes down to, again, the point of you match a head coach with the quarterback. They're synced, they're in line, and the offensive line. The Bears invested so heavy in that O-line. Now, I still think Jane Daniel, if his elbow didn't turn the other way this year,
yeah,
he'll be back. and Jane Daniels the better quarterback. And I predicted during their rookie year that Jane Daniels should have been the pick for the Bears and would win the Rookie of the Year, which I was correct on. Paid out like plus 350 when I made that bet last year too, by the way. But like Caleb Williams is good. I'm still not a huge fan of him, but how everything is working out, it is functioning and it's working. So, you keep rolling, see how far you go.
So where do we find your work, my friend?
Well, you got me all over the place, man. On social, on X, Twitter, at AndyMC81, at SickPodBrowns, Instagram and TikTok, at AndyMCSports. I got a ton of NFL content out on the sporting news. I put all the links up there. Give it a click, all that good stuff. And, of course, the live Sunday show on YouTube, The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara. Like, subscribe, jump in the chat live, 10 a.m. Eastern every Sunday. We'll be going over all these games, these best bets. Will be way too early fantasy football rankings, and of course, give you the up to date on the Browns coaching search.
I changed the name of this, okay? And I'm gonna go aggressively. I'm busy on the car lot, so I can't give as much time to this as I want to. It's kind of a labor of love, but I'm really gonna get bourbon's big in the States. It's not so much big here like bourbon and betting. So I'm gonna call this whiskey business.
I'm in, and I love it.
Whiskey business with Andy Mack and Ballsy. Whiskey business, whiskey business. That's a hey.
I'm all in. Listen, you whiskey distillers, providers, you jump in on this because I am you see right there, an executive. I'll get this for you.
Yeah.
This is right from Kentucky. Executive Certified Bourbon Steward, Stave and Thief Society, Moonshine University, at the place. Let's go. I got your tasting notes and I got your best bet picks. Let's
go.
Come on.
Whiskey business with Andy Mack and Ballsy. Talk to you later, buddy.
See you, pal.